Hello everyone, welcome to Study Online and welcome to Python Full Stack class. Today happens to be the day 8 if I'm not wrong. Yes or no? Please do respond. I hope my voice is audible, right? Yes, if my voice is audible, please do respond by saying yes. Okay, cool. Today I'll not be able to turn on the front cam. Will that be fine? Only for today. Okay, great. Guys, just give me 1 minute so that I'm just trying to do some activity, like I'm just trying to log in using some headset. Let's see whether it's properly audible or not. Guys, I hope you're able to hear my voice, right? If I'm not wrong, please do respond. Are you able to hear my voice properly? Well, because a few people were telling like, sir, there is some slight disturbance in the voice, sir, in the previous session. That's the reason I just purchased a headset. I hope now it's fine, right? Okay, let me just do one thing. Let me just share you the screen. I think I don't know what happened to my previous headset. I just changed. Okay, let's come back to full stack courses and a full stack courses, Python full stack notes. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me just open what I have taught in day 7, what I have discussed in day 7. Okay, don't you think I have just started off with, float type data, Because again, I would like to ask the question, please tell me, are you attending the class from laptop or mobile phone? If you are attending the class from laptop, please do respond L. If you are attending the class from mobile, please do respond M. Okay, desktop. Okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Guys, if you have laptop, maybe if you don't have laptop, please somehow convince your parents. Fine, why? Because guys, you tell me whatever I'm telling is correct or not. You might be in 6th semester, or you might be in 3rd semester, or you might be an engineering pastor. It doesn't matter. If you want to join IT industry as a programmer, that's the initial investment that you're going to do on yourself. Will you agree with my point? As a car racer, don't you think as a bike racer, they'll purchase helmet, all the gears and all, right? Don't you think as a programmer, that's the initial investment that you have to do on yourself? You should be having a basic laptop in order to practice. I'm not saying to attend the class. In order to attend the class, if you have mobile phone, that's well and good. You can attend. You'll be able to understand. I'm not saying no. But as a developer, if you want to become a developer, please make sure that you will have a laptop. Is that clear? Going ahead, I'm telling, going ahead. Okay, let me just do one thing. Let me just come back. When it comes to float type data, you know what kind of data will be stored as a float and what kind of data will be stored as a complex. Yes or no type data will be stored as Boolean. Just respond in the chat box. For you people, it is true. For you people, it is false. But what PVM will treat that data? If you try to print the data directly on the console, what PVM will treat the data? Because if you store within a variable, it will be treated as true, it will be treated as false. That's what you have seen here. Sorry, that's what you have seen here. But if you directly try to print the data, don't you think it will consider it as 1 and 0? I think that much amount of knowledge you have. Let me just come down. Now bytes and byte array. I'll not go in detail. Why? Because I don't want to waste my time by explaining this. Already I explained in the yesterday class by taking sufficient amount of time. A quick recap: bytes function, byte array function. Same, positive indexing, negative indexing. Fine. We can access the data, we can access the data. Generally used to store the multiple data, Next, range 0 to 255. Immutable when it comes to bytes data type, mutable when it comes to byte array. That's it. That's the only change. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no? Because if you could respond, I can just proceed. Is that clear? Till now, please tell me how many data types that you have learned. I want a very quick response from your side. Till now, how many data types that you have learned? Guys, one more thing, don't be late for the session. If the class gonna start on time, be 5 minutes before that. I think today I started a couple of minutes late just because many of them were not there in the class. That's the reason. Please be on time. Okay, cool then. Let's proceed further. I'll just tell this happens to be day 8. I would like to store this file. Wait a minute. Where is that? Desktop, full stack, Python full stack, notes. Okay, let's consider day 8. Okay. Okay, shall I proceed further? Maybe if you could respond, I can just proceed further. How many data types that you have learned? Guys, don't you think 6 data types is what you have learned? 6. One by one, I will tell. Int, float, bool, complex or complex bool, bytes, byte array. Yes or no? Byte array, bytes is what you have learned till now. Still, how many basics data type you have to learn? Just tell me 7, 8, 9. Could you just tell me the name of those things? Please be very quick. Could you please tell me those name? Guys, it's pretty simple. I think clearly I have told in the demo classes, right? Don't you think range none frozen set? Range none frozen set. Correct me if I'm wrong. Range none frozen set is what I have discussed. Correct, right? Now, for time being, what I'll do, I will not start off with range none frozen set. For time being, what I'll do, guys, don't turn on the video, all those things. I think I should have disabled that option. It's okay, fine. Listen properly. Please do listen. Yep. See here, range none frozen set. What I'll do, after giving a quick introduction to these things, I will take up these things. Will that be fine? Because if I start explaining frozen set without you having the knowledge on set, you'll not be able to understand frozen set. Directly, if I start none, you'll not be able to understand why we have to choose none. And if I start explaining range without you having the knowledge of some basic data type, that is basics of advanced data type, you'll not be able to understand. That's the reason what I'll do. These things I will do after this. Will that be fine? These 3 things in detail I will teach after giving the basic introduction to these things. I want everyone to quickly respond. Okay, please don't think like why this fellow is skipping this topic. No, guys, everything, whatever that is there, I'll be telling you in front of you itself. Okay. Now, just to teach these things. So here, just to teach these 5 advanced data type, minimum 30 hours of class, that is 30 hours of content is what I'm going to deliver. Minimum. But as of now, what I'll do, I'll be taking only a few hours and I'll start giving the introduction to those things. Again, maybe after core Python, in the advanced Python, these concepts will come. Then I'll start digging in detail. But as of now, just for your clarity, I'll be giving the basic stuff. Is that clear? Guys, you should not be getting confused. In our curriculum also, we have learned basic. This fellow is also teaching basic. No. Again, I'll come back to this. But as of now, just to make sure that you'll understand the core Python concept in a very better manner, I want you to have a basic clarity. That's the reason. Is that clear? Shall I start off with? Yes, please do respond. Shall I start off with? Okay, I'll just tell introduction to, the name itself indicates introduction to advanced data types. Totally, there are 5 advanced data types. Which are those, if you ask me? List, tuple, set, dictionary, string. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes or no? These are the 5 advanced data types that are available. Yes, please do respond. I want you to respond. Okay, later we'll see this. Maybe in the next class, I might be doing that. Not today. Today it's not possible. Now let's take the first one. What is the first one? I want you to type in the chat box. What is the first one? Guys, if you're able to understand today's concept, trust me, you'll get immense amount of knowledge. Now only I'm telling. It might be a basic, but you'll get immense amount of knowledge. Very good. List. Before I start off with list, what you have to understand, till now, whatever we have learned, don't you think we used to store only single data? Yes or no? We used to store only single data. Let's just respond. We used to store only single data. Correct, right? Sir, what single data, sir? What you're trying to tell, sir? That means, see, 10.89, that is only a single data is what we used to store. But what you have to, guys, byte array, just neglect that. Why? Because nobody will be using byte array. Fine, that's the reason. Now, what they came up with, if you ask me, that means if we start using the basic data type, we can only store only few data, like one data or two data, three data, four data. But if you want to store a huge amount of data, we can't rely on basic data type that is available. That is the reason they invented something called as advanced data type. That's the reason they invented something called as advanced data type. That means in the interview, if they're asking, already basic data type were there, why there is a necessity of inventing advanced data type? Your answer should be, whenever we want to store a group of values or data within a single entity, fine, a huge amount of data within a single entity, then we should go for advanced data type. Is that clear for everyone? As I want you people to respond, is that clear? Hope that it is clear. Okay, now let's take the first one that happens to be list. Let's take the first one that happens to be list. Now, I want your complete attention until I complete list as well as tuple, if I'm not wrong. Like first, let's complete list. Guys, what is a list if you ask me? I'll just do one thing. Shall I go back to the Sublime Text? As I hope I started using Sublime Text, right? If I'm not wrong, I think a couple of examples also I would have explained. Correct me if I'm wrong. Couple of examples also I would have explained. Okay, let's come back to Sublime Text. What is this? Okay, you don't worry about what are these things. you might be getting shocked by seeing all these things. Don't get shocked. It's pretty simple. When I take up PDBC, I'll explain. Close tabs to write. Close tabs to write. Okay, cool. Now let's do one thing. Still, we are in data types itself. That's the reason I would like to consider example number 11. Example number 11.py. Example number 11.py. Now, let me just take a very simple example. Let's see how many of them will be able to understand. Guys, my expectation is pretty simple. In order to go with advanced data, what is my expectation? Don't you think I want to store multiple data? Assume that I want to store 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That's what my expectation. That is the reason I decided to go with the advanced data type. Correct, right? Yes or no? Just correct me if I'm wrong. Now, what you have to understand, fine, I want to store multiple data, but how to store this multiple data within a list? If you ask me, you have to use square bracket. What is the bracket that you have to use, guys? I want you people to respond as early as possible in the chat box. What is the brackets that you have to use? Very good. Don't you think you have to use square bracket? You have to use square bracket in order to store the data as a list. Now, if you observe properly, see here, homogeneous data. Homogeneous means similar kind of data. Don't you think I'm trying to store integer data, all the integer data within a variable called as L1, which is of list. If I print L1, I should get the output. If I print address of L1, I should get a random address. If I print type of L1, I'll get the answer as class list. You only observe. If I save, if I execute, don't you think I got the same output? Yes or no? I want you people to respond in the chat box. Similarly, one more very important thing you have to understand by seeing this example. Duplicates are allowed within a list. Yes or no in the chat box. Duplicates are allowed within a list. Yes or no? As I want a quick response from your side. 100% yes. Duplicates are allowed within a list. Okay. Next what, sir? Let's try to store heterogeneous data. Fine. Let's try to store heterogeneous data. Heterogeneous means different category of data. See here, integer, float, boolean, complex. I'm just trying to store within a variable called as L2, but square bracket is compulsory. And one more thing, I don't know whether you have observed or not. Before equal to, after equal to, I'm giving some space. Are you observing those things? Are you able to observe those things? Yes or no? These things are called as industry standard. Is that fine? These things are called as industry standard. Fine, just have these things at the back of your mind. One by one, I will tell. And in the actually, whenever you're storing the data also, you should make sure that after comma, you will give a space. But I'm a very lazy person. That's the reason I just neglected that. Okay. Now, if I save, if I execute, now also I got, yes, we can store homogeneous, we can store heterogeneous, we can store duplicate, everything you got to know. See a different object, why? Because storing within L1, different object, why? Because storing within L2. Now you might be asking the doubt, sir, how to create empty list, sir? how to create empty list. If you ask me, that is pretty simple. If you want to create empty list at that point of time, I'll do one thing. I'll just paste it. Let's consider this homogeneous, heterogeneous in a one example. Let's consider if I say example number 12.py, if I save, if I execute, let me just copy this. Let's not mess up everything in a single example because you'll not be able to understand. Paste it. Fine. Let me just come back to the example number 11. How to create an empty list? If somebody is asking, your answer should be there are two ways. That's how many ways are there to create an empty list? Could you people please do respond in the chat box? How many ways are there? Two ways are there to create an empty list. Two ways are there to create an empty list. Okay. See here. First one, using square bracket or using list function, you can create. Is that clear? Using square bracket, you can create an empty list. Using list function, you can create an empty list. Now, if I save, if I execute 100%, see here, empty list, different object, different object. Both of them belongs to list. Is that clear? Let's please do a response. Is that clear for everyone? Now, instead of writing the random address, fine. Shall I write 1000 for your reference? Shall I write 2000 for your reference? Will you be able to understand? Shall I write like this? Correct me if I'm wrong. Shall I write like this? Okay, cool. Now let me just come back here. Here also, shall I write 1000? Shall I write 2000? As I know it's a random address, but for your reference, I'm just writing that. Now, what you have to understand from this particular diagram, if you ask me, listen, and just tell me whether you people are able to understand or not. Let's copy paste these things. I would like to copy this, go back to the notes. Fine. I'll just consider example number 10.py. Fine. No, not 10. I think it's example number 11.py. Paste. Similarly, example number 12.py. Paste. I will display one diagram. Let's see how many of them will be able to understand. I think this is not the thing for this. Example number 12. Where is example number 12? Okay, I got it. Copy this, paste it. Yep. I'll proceed further. Listen properly so that you'll be able to understand whatever I'm trying to speak. Later, let's differentiate the data. Everything later we'll do it. Okay, let's differentiate the examples. Okay. Now, if you carefully observe this, I'm going to display on diagram. Just tell me whether people are able to understand the diagram or not. Guys, don't be late for the session. Please join the session on time. Again and again, please don't make me to tell that. You should be 5 minutes early to the session and you have to check what I have taught in the previous classes. And that's how a quick revision is what you have to do for yourself. Okay, let me just display this diagram. Just give me 1 minute. I'm just trying to open that diagram. It's a pretty simple diagram. Now I'm telling you it's a pretty simple diagram. Let's see whether the diagram is available or not. Where is that diagram? Yes, it's available. Okay, guys, please tell me LST I have taken, right? I think LST or what? What is the data that I have taken? Let me just check it out. What is the data that I have taken? Okay, I think L1 is what I have taken, right? As if I'm not wrong, L1 is what I have taken. Instead of L1, I'll take LST. Will that be fine? Why? Because in the diagram I have written LST. That's the reason I'm just taking LST, so that you should not be getting confused. Okay. Yes, variable name, you can give your name, you can give my name, you can give your girlfriend, boyfriend name. It doesn't matter. Now, how many data that I'm storing within a list? How many data that I'm storing within a list? Could you just tell me how many data that I'm storing within a list? Or else let's do one thing. Let's not mess up this. Let's take one more example. So that I can write the diagram for that. Will that be fine? Let's not mess up. Let's take one more example so that I'll write the diagram for that. I think anyhow it is same, right? Okay, now I'll just come back to the Sublime Text. Inside Sublime Text, what I will do, I'll consider example number 13.py. For this example, I'll write the diagram. Okay, so that you'll be able to understand the diagram for example number 12, example number 11. What happened internally is what you'll be able to understand if I explain diagrammatically of example number 13. Okay, please tell me. Okay, Now, what you have to understand from this example, whatever I'm going to paste if you ask me. Guys, one more thing for everyone I'm telling, please change your display name. This is the last warning that I'm going to give. Please change your display name. I can still see one person name happens to be, what is the name? Oh, I think everybody named properly. Okay, very good. No, Redmi K20 I can see. Redmi K20, 2 minutes time for Redmi. After 2 minutes, you will not be there K20. Guys, please don't mistake. Please don't. Okay, let me just consider just a minute. Change your display name. Change your display name. Okay. Redmi K20. I don't know who is Redmi K20. Next. That's it. I think apart from that, everybody would have named properly. After 2 minutes, you'll not be there in the session. And later, please don't tell me, sir, that is me, this is me. No. Please make sure that you'll be giving the proper name. Okay. Now, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Fine. How many data that I'm storing, guys? How many data that I'm storing? 5 data is what I'm storing. When it comes to yesterday's session, whatever you have learned, indexing will be there. Same indexing will be applicable for a list. Fine. Both positive indexing as well as negative indexing will be there. Positive indexing will start from 0. Negative indexing will start from -1. Now, could you please tell me the answer of this? Let's see how many of them will tell the answer. Very good. 10. Very good. Could you please tell me the answer of this? Guys, please be very quick. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. 50. Very good. Could you just tell me the answer of this? 50 -1. -3 means 30. Address, let's write it as 1000. Will that be fine? Yes, I know it's a unique number that will be generated, but for your reference, I'm just writing 1000. Will that be fine? Similarly, type. Don't you think the type happens to be, it belongs to class list? Something like this, it will display. Class list. Like this, it will display. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, next. Address of, this is very important. Address of LST of 2. Please tell me, the whole address will be 1000. The whole list object address will be 1000. But don't you think for individual object also address will be given? Will you agree with my point? For 10, one address will be given. 21 chota address will be given. 31 address will be given. 40 address will be given. 50 address will be given. Sir, how to check, sir? Yes, let's take, this is 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. A random. I know it's a unique, but for your reference, I'm just telling you a random. Fine. Now, if you try to fetch LST of 2 address, what will be the address? 0, 1, 2. Don't you think a random address is what it will be generated? But in the diagram, I would have written 1002. That's the reason I'm just writing 1002. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no? Sorry, it's not 1002. Sorry, it's not 1002. What is the address? Is that 1002 or what? Like LST of 2. If I start the address from 1001, assume that this is 1001, 1002, 1003. Don't you think the address should be 1003? That means a random address will be generated. Sir, what is the type, sir? Could you please tell me the type? As I know in different manner it might be displayed. Type integer data. Yes or no? It's a integer data. If I save, if I execute, you only observe. Don't you think same thing is what we got? Random address, random address. Is that clear? I hope you're able to understand. Class list, class int. Maybe let's write as it is. Okay. Okay, I hope I need not to write the output for this example. Why? Because there only I have written the output. After every print function, I have written the output. Now, I'll display the diagram. Please tell me whether it is correct or not. Whatever you have learned till now, is that correct or not? Okay, let's come back to example number 13.py. Soon after the diagram, I want you people to write down diagram number 1. Diagram number 1. But I want you to take the screenshot of that. Later, you have to write. Now only I'm telling. Or maybe if you want, I can just give the time now itself. Let's see how it will work. Fine. Just give me a minute. I'm just trying to open the diagram. Where is the diagram? Okay, guys, let's do one thing. What is today's day of Python? Could you just tell me what is today's day of Python? It's day 8, right? Anyhow, I told that I'll be doing the revision later, right? Anyhow, I told I'll be doing the revision later. Let me just do one thing. All the diagrams will keep in this particular OneNote. Later, it will be easy for us or easy for me to revise. Will that be fine? As instead of pasting somewhere else, let's keep all those track record here itself. Is that clear for everyone? Okay, great. Please tell me how many segments will be there in PVM. I want you people to respond. How many segments will be there in PVM? Very good. Totally, there are 4 segments. In that 4 segment, don't you think for us 3 segments is what required as of now? That is code segment, runtime stack, heap segment. Now, if you consider code segment, this is the code that I have written. I know I might have written some lengthy code. It doesn't matter. Always the execution will start from RHS. Later, the control will be given to LHS. RHS means object creation will happen. Complete list object got created within the heap segment. Address happens to be 1000. I know in reality it is not thousands and random address. Just for your ease, I have written 1000. That is the address of list object. Inside the address, it is going to store the data like this in the form of a box or something like that. Fine. Now, individual object address, individual object, individual object, individual object, individual object. Don't you think 10, 20, 30, 40, 50? Everything has been stored. Both positive indexing as well as negative indexing will be there. Positive indexing will start from 0. Negative indexing will start from -1. Is that clear? And how to check the address of LST? ID of LST, that's it. It will give 1000. If you want to check the address of 40, guys, assume that somebody tells you, can you just check the address of 40? Don't you think you have to just tell ID of LST of -2 or LST of 3 will give you the address of 40? Yes or no? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes or no? Either you give the positive indexing or you give the negative indexing. Anyhow, that particular object will be there, right? As it's like this. Assume that this is a complete apartment. It's a complete apartment. Inside the apartment, individual flats will be there. Individual door number flat will be there. Yes or no? Just assume like that. Okay. I want everyone to take the screenshot now itself. I want everyone to take the screenshot now itself. Or let's do one thing. I think I have an option to share the diagram. Let's see. Maybe if I have that option, maybe in the chat only, I'll just share it. Give me a minute. Yes. Let's just check. I have shared the diagram in the chat. Did you receive the diagram? I want you people to respond. Did you receive the diagram? I just shared in the chat. Okay, if you would have received, fine. If not, I hope you have taken the screenshot, right? Now, what I want you people to write, if you ask me, let me just do one thing. Let me just come back to the notes. Even though if it is taking some time, it doesn't matter. I want you to have a complete picture about this very important concept called as list. Very important concept, trust me. Let's do one thing. Let's start giving few points on list. Okay, sir, what point you will give, sir? Till now, whatever I have discussed in the form of a points, I'll give. That's it. Okay, sir, what point, sir? First of all, you tell me, if somebody is asking what is a list, your answer should be a list is an ordered collection of data. Ordered means indexing is there. A list is an ordered collection of data which can store both homogeneous as well as heterogeneous. Correct me, the first point, whatever I have written is correct or not. So here, a list is in Python is an ordered collection of data which can store both homogeneous as well as heterogeneous. Similarly, how to represent list? Could you just tell me in the chat box? How to represent list? That means using what symbol we can represent list? 2 ways are there. Using square bracket we can represent, or using list function we can represent. Is that fine? Is that fine? And duplicate can be stored within a list. Duplicate can be stored within a list. And we can perform addition, deletion, modification, and we can access the data. Everything is possible in list. Everything is possible in list. That's the reason list is mutable or immutable. That example I will take here later. But as of now, I'm just trying to give the point. That's the reason. Guys, if you try to perform addition, like addition, modification, deletion, is it a mutable or immutable? I hope in the yesterday's class, I have just given some basic clarity about what is mutable, what is immutable, changeable, non-changeable. That's it. Now, if you observe these points, in order to represent the data in the form of a list, we should store the data within square bracket or list function. We can store duplicate data within a list. List is a mutable data, that is changeable data. We can perform addition, modification. I'll just tell modification, comma, and deletion of the data upon a list. Next point, I'll just tell we can access the data. We can access the data of a list using both positive indexing, using both positive indexing and negative indexing. Is that clear for everyone? As please do respond. I want you people to respond. We can access the data of a list using both positive indexing as well as negative indexing. It will preserve the order. Preserve the order means in whichever the order you have given, in the same order it will be there. And compulsorily we have to use square bracket, or compulsorily we have to tell list function in order to represent the object as a list object. That's it. Now, what I want you people to do, if you ask me, do one thing, guys. Give the heading as introduction to advanced data types. Introduction to advanced data types. Below that, I want you to take down these points. Is that visible or not? Please do respond. Is that visible or not? The complete window, starting from here till the end. Is that visible? Yes, please do respond. Is that visible? Okay, I hope it's visible, right? The time starts now. Only 5 minutes of time is what I'll be giving. I want you to write the notes now itself. Okay, before you start writing, please be very prompt. Because I like what I can tell, loyalty, or if you're genuine, I seriously like that. Fine. Yes, what is this like? A participant has set speaking language to English. A participant has enabled closed captioning. I think I have to work on this. Okay, let's try to do, what is this? Okay, please tell me, guys, how many of them would have written the complete end-to-end notes of day 7? Yes, sir. I hope you have given the notes, sir. I have updated. I know in between the class, I can't give time to write the complete notes, but have you done with your day 7 complete notes? How many of them? Respond yes. If a small line is also missing, respond no. Because please be very genuine. If it is no also, be proud about that. No need to hesitate. Why? Because I'll give time, but you have to write it. That's it. Is that fine? Guys, don't commit the same mistake what you have committed in your college. This is not, guys, is there any examination? Yeah, 100% there is a Microsoft examination where easily, by closing your eyes, by dancing and all, you can clear that. If you learn from me, fine. There is Microsoft certification. You can become Microsoft Python certified developer. But writing the notes is very important. Is that fine? Because at least, please do follow me. That is, just do follow whatever I will tell for at least 15 days without having any expectation. Can I expect you to do that? Because even though if you're scolding me in dash language, it doesn't matter. I'll take it. But can I expect you to do that? Guys, I'm requesting. I'm not ordering. I'm requesting. Why? Because you have committed so much of mistake whenever you're learning something in your college days. Why? Because examination will be there. But right now, there is no examination. Using this content, trust me, you have to earn your bread and butter for 2 decades. Minimum 2 decades you'll be in the IT industry. You have to earn your bread and butter. That is the reason. Please write the notes. Please have a separate notebook for this. Fine. Now, can I expect everyone to make sure that before attending day 9, that is tomorrow's class, can I expect everyone's updated notes of day 1 to day 8? Can I expect everyone? Day 1 to day 8. Yes, I'm asking you, can I expect everyone's updated notes? Sir, where we have to send, sir? Tomorrow I will tell you what you have to do. Fine, but please make sure that from day 1 to day 8 till today, you'll be writing the notes. Tomorrow also you should write, but I'll tell you. Once you have updated notes, I'll tell you where you have to send, what is the next process, everything I'll tell you. I want you to write the notes. Okay, start writing the notes. Start writing the notes now. I'll be giving exact 5 minutes of time. Starting from here till here, please start writing. The time starts now. I'll be on mute. Guys, if you're done by writing, you have to just tell done in the chat box so that I'll get the clarity that it's done. Simply don't tell done and all. If you're done, then properly tell done. I'm telling for everyone. Without writing, please don't tell done. Why? Because you're not aligned to the writing the notes. Simply instead of wasting my time, why to waste done. Don't tell that. Please make sure that if you would have written in the notes, then just tell done. Okay. Last 1 to 2 minutes. Please be very quick. Hope that you have written the notes till here. Hope if you have not written, maybe later after uploading in the drive, you can just do it. Guys, don't worry, don't worry. Oh, many of them might be thinking, sir, list is a okay. No, guys, list. What is this list? Fine. Basically, it's a data type, advanced data type. When we should call this list as a class, when the time comes, guys, I told you, right? This is just an introduction that I'm giving. That means if you see some data within square bracket, you should be able to understand this is a list. That's the reason I'm just giving the introduction. Fine. If I start in detail, then you'll understand what is this list. If you tell like this list function, what is that? And when it will be called as a class, everything I'll tell you. Will that be fine, Santosh? Will that be fine? Let's not dig into that and let's not make confusion among yourself now itself. Okay, let's come down. And now, example number 11. And just see, that means I want you to reduce a sufficient amount of space. That's the reason I'm just showing. Example number 11. Fine. I think half page. Example number 12, half a page. Guys, please don't make sure that these things don't write like this. As I hope clearly I told you, right? This has to be written here. Yes or no? These things has to be written here. Correct me if I'm wrong. After every print function, you have to write it by putting some arrow mark. Okay, that's the reason don't consider this for space. Okay, I think including this, and including this, it might be half a page or 1 page. I think including the particular chota diagram. Now, shall I proceed further? Shall I proceed further? Before me proceeding further, what I want, leave exactly 1 page of space, exactly 1 page. Fine, 1 page means for example number 11, along with the output, example number 12, similarly example number 13. I think it will take approximately 1 page, right? As I hope you know. Guys, if it is some extra space that is available in your notes also, don't be confused. Write proper notes, okay? Now, I'm going to display the diagram number 1. I want you to write a diagram now itself in the class by taking 3 minutes. Will that be fine? Okay, the time starts now. I want you to write the diagram now itself by leaving one page space. Okay, please be very quick in writing the diagram number 1. As it is, you have to write as it is. I'll be on mute. Once you're done with the diagram, just respond done in the chat box. Guys, if you're not writing, trust me, it's cheating that you're doing on yourself, not for me. I don't care if you don't write the notes. Trust me, I do care, but it's not my responsibility, guys. Trust me. If you're not writing the notes, it's not my complete responsibility. Fine, you have to take the ownership and don't cheat yourself. If you try to cheat me, it's direct cheating on yourself. And if you think later I'll write that later will never come. That's the reason, write it now itself. Once you're done by writing, just tell done in the chat box. Okay, if it is done, shall I proceed further? Yes, please do respond. If it is done, shall I proceed further? Please do respond. Okay, just give me a minute. Guys, just give me a minute. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, meanwhile, you just look at the points, whatever you have written, or just if you want to write, or I'll just look at the points, just see the points, whatever there is there. Just give me 1 minute. And please don't try to turn on the front cam, all those activities. Don't do that. Okay, great. Let me just do one thing. Okay, let's proceed further. As I hope, even though I'm going in a very slow manner, why? Because this topic is very important. Okay, let's proceed now with a pace. Fine. Okay. Just tell me whether you people are able to see the Sublime text or not. Are you able to see Sublime text? Yes or no in the chat box. Are you able to see Sublime text? Yes, I hope you people are able to see, right? I hope you are able to see Sublime text, right? Okay, great. Now, when it comes to the next example, what you have to understand, if you ask me, can we store heterogeneous data? Yes or no? Can we store heterogeneous data? Yes. And string data type can be represented in single quotes or it might be in double quotes in Python. Float, decimal, duplicate is allowed. Absolutely fine. 0th index, first index, second index, third index, fourth index, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. That's it. If I execute, I hope you got the output. Now, please tell me what is the output of these two things. What is the output of LST of 2? Could you just respond in the chat box? What is the output of LST of 2? What is the output of LST of 2? Very good. Sandesh. What is the output of LST of -5? -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. 10 is the output. If I execute, I hope your people are able to see the output. Now observe properly. Let's proceed. Instead of Sandesh, I want the data to be changed to Python. LST of 2 using index of operator. That means I'm trying to modify the existing data within a list. Data is Sandesh, I'm trying to modify with Python. Let's see whether it will happen or not. If I execute, do you think the data got modified? How many of them are able to understand? The data got modified, yes or no? Okay, now, sir, can we add the data, sir? 100% you can add the data. Adding the data, so many ways are there. Trust me, using plus operator, using append function, using extend function, using index of operator. There are so many ways, but I just want you to understand we can add the data for a list. Why? Because introduction is what I'm giving. Fine. If you tell append, the data will be appended at the last. Fine. See here, LST is a reference variable pointing to the whole list object. You please add Java at the last. Why last? Append function will work like that itself. See here, Java got added at the last. How many of them are able to understand? We can modify the data. That means we can add the data as well. Yes or no? Because the only thing what you have to understand, modification is possible, addition is possible. How many ways? Everything later I'll teach. Fine, when I take up in detail. Similarly, removal is also possible. I want to remove Suhas from list. Is that possible? Yes, it's possible. See here, Suhas got removed. How many of them understood this much? Yes, sir, completely understood, sir. How many of them? As I want a very quick response from your side. Are you people able to understand whatever I'm trying to do? Okay, great, great. Now, let's do one thing. Let me just copy this. Come back to the notes. Example number 14.py. Guys, please don't be getting confused that only 4 examples is what this fellow has taken for list. More than 45 examples is what I'll be taking for list. 45, 50 approximately. Fine, just to give you some basic clarity, I just took this. Shall I proceed to the next one? That is tuple concept. Shall I proceed to the next one? That is tuple. If you could respond, I can proceed for the tuple. A basic introduction, that's it. Okay, now let's go back to the Sublime text. Example number 15.py. Now what I'll do. Okay, let me just consider a tuple. Guys. That's what I told you. Many of them are asking, sir, can we remove using indexing? Yeah, you can. I'm not saying no. Guys, there are multiple ways are there for addition, multiple ways are there for accessing, multiple ways are there for deletion. Everything is there. I'm not saying no. I'm not going to that depth. I'll go. Once I start advanced data type concept, I'll go. But as of now, just to show you that list is mutable data. Addition, modification, deletion, accessing is possible. I have just shown that's it. Is that clear? Okay. Let's consider tuple. Please tell me, when it comes to list, how to create an empty list? What kind of brackets we have used? Square bracket. But in case of tuple, it is common bracket. Is that fine? Or some of them will be calling it as simple brackets. Similarly, using tuple function also, we can create a tuple. That means if you print tup empty tuple, address, so random address, type tuple, empty tuple, random address, type tuple. If I execute, I hope you're able to see the output and you're able to understand. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you able to understand? And I don't know whether you have observed or not. Empty tuple object, same address. Empty tuple object, same address. Don't you think same address has been stored within multiple variable? Have you observed that? I don't know whether you have observed the things in list. I don't know whether you have observed. Fine. Let's try it out. 1000 is what I will tell. Here also 1000. Why, sir? That is how Python is built. If the object exists, it will not create one more object. Rather, the object address will be reused. Are you getting my point? Same thing. Let's come back here. Okay, I think I made a mistake here. Maybe. Let's execute this. If I save, if I execute, don't you think here what happened? Did I made a mistake or what? Please tell me. No. Why? Because guys, when it comes to list, it will create one more duplicate object. Why? I will teach you this. Is that fine? Yes, is that clear for everyone? Please do respond. When it comes to tuple, it will reuse the existing object. When it comes to list, it will create duplicate object. Why? I will teach you when I start up or when I take up the in detail explanation of a list and tuple. Is that clear for everyone? But be aware of this. This topic has been clearly taught. That means this topic has been initiated, but I'll clearly teach later. But as of now, what you have to understand, guys, how to create empty tuple, common brackets, tuple function. That's it. That's what you have to understand. Now let's take example number 16.py. When it comes to example number 16.py, you only observe we can store both homogeneous, heterogeneous, and is that possible to store duplicate? 100% it's possible. One more very important thing you have to observe. Common brackets I have taken. Did I take any brackets here? No, even though if you're not taking brackets, the data will be considered as a tuple. See here, even though if you're not taking the data within a bracket, it is taking the data as a tuple. That is the reason, if you could observe carefully when it comes to the last point of a list, what I have written, bracket or list function is compulsory. do you think common brackets or tuple function is compulsory to represent the data as a tuple? But if you're representing the data using comma separated, automatically it will take it as a tuple. Yes or no? Yes, I hope you're able to understand, right? Are you able to understand from which perspective I'm talking? Okay, great. Now this is random address 1000 I will tell. This is a random address, maybe 2000 I will tell, so that for your reference, so that you will be able to understand a very better approach. Now let's proceed further. Guys, you got to know that duplicates are allowed, homogeneous, heterogeneous allowed. That's it. Shall I proceed further? Quick. Shall I proceed further? Okay, great. When it comes to tuple also, observe properly. Example number 17.py. Example number 17.py. Same. Positive indexing, negative indexing will be there. Positive indexing will start from 0, negative indexing will start from -1. Same, you can access the data. Guys, using for tuple, you can access the data, but you cannot add the data, you cannot modify the data, but you cannot remove the data once it is created. Is that clear? Now tell me, tuple is mutable or immutable? I want you to respond in the chat box. Tuple is mutable or immutable? Immutable, non-changeable. 0 means 10, 4 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 50, 50, 30, 1000, tuple, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1003. That means for your understanding, I'm saying, how many of them understood? Without me explaining in detail about this. Why? Because I have explained clearly when it comes to list concept. How many of them understood this? Yes, sir. Completely understood, sir. How many of them? Okay. Because am I going in a very fast manner or slow manner or medium manner? No, I want you to respond. That's the reason I'm asking. Am I going in a fast? I think slow, right? Trust me, in a very slow manner, I'm going. Trust me. Don't worry, I'll increase the pace. I know when to increase. But I want you to that. I want you to have that, what I can tell, maturity level. I know many people will be like, sir, already these things we have learned in the college, sir. What extra you'll be teaching? Wait, have patience. Picture abhi baki hai. This is just a teaser, not even trailer. Teaser. With some 5 seconds background music. That's it. Okay, let me just do one thing. Let me just go back to the notepad. Come down. What's the example number? I think example number happens to be example number 15. Example number 15.py. Similarly, example number 16.py. Similarly, example number 17.py. I think many of them will be thinking like, this fellow will write example. Later, it is very difficult for us to write that example. Yes or no? I think you'll be thinking like that, right? Anyhow, this fellow will do copy paste for few things. For us, we can't do copy paste. We have to write it in the notes. Okay, let's come back to example number 17. Guys, can I expect you to write the diagram for example number 17? Can I expect you to write that? Please do respond. Guys, like how you have written diagram number 1, can I expect you people to write the diagram? Yes or no? Assignment. I hope you know where exactly you have to do the changes, right? Same thing. That's it. Variable name will change. That's it. Nothing will change. Instead of list object, just write tuple object. Let's see how many of them will do the assignment, whatever I have given. Okay, let's copy this. 15. Next example number 16. 17 including diagram. Now I would like to go back to the Sublime Text once again. Okay. Inside this Sublime Text, what I will do, example number 18. The next example is what I'm going to consider. Listen and just tell me whether you're able to understand or not. In a single shot, I'll be writing. No one I'm telling, in a single shot, I'll be writing. Already I have given the clear clarity that it is immutable. That's the reason. Please tell me. First line, guys, whenever I do some copy paste activity, you should not be getting confused. Hey, what this fellow is doing. Just observe where the cursor is there. Please tell me, can we store this data like this? Yes or no? Can we store duplicate heterogeneous data within a tuple? Yes or no? Yes. Can we access the data? Why not? 100% TUP of 2, 0, 1, 2, Sandesh, -5, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, 10 will be the output. But if you try to modify the existing data, it will result in error. What kind of error? Type error. Tuple object does not support type item assignment, boss. will not be able to change the data. I know TUP of 2 is Sandesh. You can't change Sandesh to Python. That means you can't change the data. Similarly, sir, using any of the function, can we add the data, sir? Assume that you want to add Kavyasri or whatever may be fine. You can't do that. You will get attribute error. Tuple object has no attribute called as append. Like this, you'll get the output. Is that fine? Similarly, if you try to remove Suhas, you will get error. What kind of error? Let's see that. First of all, I'll comment this just to see the error of this. If I execute, type error, perfect. I'll be commenting why, because the control will never enter this point. That's the reason. If I execute, attribute error, very good. I'll comment this. If I execute, okay, I think here also attribute error. Okay, got it. Is that clear for everyone? Guys, I want you people to respond in the chat box. Is that clear? Okay. I think you know what is the output of this, right? And you know what is the output of this. Let's not write output for this program at all, because only this output will be coming. And anyhow, I have to just show you that it is immutable in nature. It is immutable in nature is what I have to show. I have just shown that. I'll copy this. I'll come back to the notes. Example number 18.py. Within this example number 18, I'll just paste it. I think output I need not to write it. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll be writing few points. Just tell me whether people are able to understand or not. Fine. Guys, again, I'll tell you why tuple is made as immutable, why list is mutable, what is the uses of that, what is the application, where in real time we'll be using, everything I'll tell you. But why I have just taken the introduction. It's only because if you see the data, you should be able to identify, okay, this is tuple, sir, this is list, sir. That is the reason. Will that be fine, Santosh? 100% for all your doubts, I'll give the clarity. Is that clear? Why tuple is made as immutable? What kind of data structure it will use? Tuple will make use of fixed length array. That is the reason it is immutable. What is the application? I'll teach you when I start up the internal implementation of a tuple. Okay. Now, I'll not even explain these points. Tell me whether you're able to understand or not. Please be very quick. A tuple in Python is an ordered collection of data which can store both homogeneous as well as heterogeneous data. Next, we can store duplicate data within a tuple. And next, what? In order to represent the data in the form of a tuple, we should store the data in square common bracket or tuple function. It is immutable. We can't perform addition, deletion, or modification. Addition, modification, and deletion of data upon a tuple once it is created. It will preserve the order of insertion. We can access the data. Common brackets or tuple function is not compulsory to represent the data as a tuple. If we represent, guys, wait a minute. I'll just write this. Wait a minute. Okay. If we represent multiple data by separating them with comma, then it would be treated as tuple. Is that clear for everyone? Yes, please do respond. I hope you are able to understand, right? Are you able to understand? I want a clarity from your side. Are you able to understand? Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you able to understand? Okay, now I hope this diagram you have written, right? Now I want you to leave sufficient amount of space for example number 14. After the list diagram, whatever I have written, I want you to leave sufficient amount of space. Now take down the heading as tuple. Write these points now itself. Write these points now itself. I'll be on mute. I'll be giving 2 to 3 minutes of time in order to write these points. Please be very quick. If you're done with it, just respond done. If you're done by writing, I'll be on mute. Okay. Okay, hope that you have written the points with respect to tuple. Fine. Later, maybe again, I'll not give some time to write the things. Okay, shall I proceed further? Yes, please do respond in the chat box. Shall I proceed further? Okay, next topic is very important. No one I'm telling you, it's under tuple itself, but it's very important. Is that fine? It's under tuple itself, but it is very important. Sir, what is that, sir? You only observe. Why I have to tell? Let's come back to example number 19.py. Fine. Please tell me what will be the type of A1? I want a very quick response from your side. What will be the type of A1? Use your common sense and tell me. Very good, very good, very good. Whatever the answer that you told is perfectly correct. Integer. Now tell me, what is the type of A2? What is the type of A2? If you think integer, you're absolutely wrong. Why? Because clearly I have told brackets are not compulsory. And sir, but only one data is there, sir. That is the reason it is called as singleton tuple. Is that clear? As for this, we will call it as singleton tuple. In the interview, if they're asking what is singleton tuple, your answer should be if you consider one data by comma separated, then it is only called as singleton tuple. Sir, I want to check the type of A2, sir. Whether it's a tuple or not, 100% it would be tuple. Observe. Is that clear for everyone? I want you to respond. Oh, guys, I think my voice is breaking, right? Oh, wait. I think it's because of. I think I just made the mic. Okay, now it's fine. Now I think absolutely it should be fine. If not, I'll make sure that I'll just return this headset because so much amount I have given. Okay, great. I think he told that 100% noise cancellation. It will not take any noise. Fine, even if there is any echo or apart from like what I can tell, like if somebody is standing in 10 meters and if they're talking, it will not take their voice. But how you felt regarding today's class? How you felt regarding this today's class? Like the voice is proper, right? If I'm not wrong. Okay, just give me the rating of that. No, not my voice, the headset that I'm using. Sir, how much you have given? I think around some 12,000 or I think 12.5, I guess. It's okay. Let's proceed further. Let's proceed further. Yep. Now tell me, what is the output of output? 10. But what is the type of A3? What is the type of A3? If you think tuple, you are absolutely wrong. You are absolutely wrong. Why? Because we can consider a singleton tuple. Guys, I will request somebody is telling a list. I'll close the session and I'll only exit from the session. Fine. How come it will become list? Just look at the brackets. Look at the brackets. Either your answer should be integer or your answer should be tuple. Oh, who is telling list? Fine. Guys, it is not a tuple. Why, sir? Sir, brackets we're using, sir. You might be using the bracket, but don't you think in order to consider single data, at least a comma should be there as a tuple? This will be treated as integer itself. This bracket doesn't have any meaning. Now, if I execute, how many of them are able to understand by seeing the output? Yes, sir, we are able to understand. How many of them? Please do respond. This is a very important interview question. No one I'm telling. It's a very important interview question. Now tell me, what is the output of this A4? Output, 10. What is the type of A4? We can consider single data within a list, 100%. Don't you think A4 is a list? A4 is a list. Guys, don't tell integer. Who is telling integer? A4 is a list. Because we can consider, guys, don't you think compulsory we have to tell square bracket? Within that, either you store single data or multiple data. Without comma also, we can store single data. That's the beauty of list. Now tell me, if you tell this answer, let's see. What is the type of A5? Is that integer or tuple? Very good. Tuple. Okay, now I'll be pasting the output like this. But will you be writing? It's a singleton tuple. It's a singleton tuple. If you want, I can just write it here also. Singleton tuple. Will you be writing the output in the proper manner, like how I have taught you? Like after each and every print function, you have to write the output. Will you be writing like that? Okay, let's copy this. Let's come back to the notes. In this notes, what I will do, I'll just tell example number 19.py. 19.py. When it comes to example number 19.py, let's paste it. And I would like to consider the heading happens to be singleton tuple. If somebody is asking what is singleton tuple, your answer should be a singleton tuple is a tuple which consists of only a single element with comma separated. I hope you people are able to understand what is the meaning of singleton tuple. Is that clear for everyone? I want a very quick response from your side. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box. Okay. Now, last topic. I think another 10 minutes. I'm going to wind up the things. Okay, sir. What is the last topic, sir? You please tell me which is the next data type. Which is the next data type? Guys, still dictionary and string. Maybe in the tomorrow's class I'll be doing. But what is the next topic after list tuple? Very good. Set. If you consider set directly, I'll take off with the example. Tell me whether you're able to understand or not. Example number 20.py. When it comes to list, square bracket. When it comes to tuple, although it is not compulsory, but common brackets. When it comes to set, you have to use flower bracket. What kind of bracket you have to use, guys? Please do respond. What kind of bracket you have to use? Flower bracket. Okay. Now observe properly. Example number 21.py I will take. So 20, don't worry, I'll tell you. We can store homogeneous data within a set. We can store heterogeneous data within a set. But after seeing the output of S3, you please tell me whether duplicate are allowed or not. No, duplicates are not allowed. As well as one more thing you have to observe, guys. You are storing the data in the form of 10, 20, 30, 40, 10, 10. Are you getting the data in the same format? No. If I close this, if I execute one more order, it will come. That means, do you think two important points you have to understand? First important point, duplicate will not be allowed. Second important point, order of insertion will not be preserved. That means indexing concept is not at all there in set. Both positive indexing, negative indexing concept is not at all there. Will you agree with my point? Yes or no? Yes, please do respond. Okay, cool. Now, I would like to copy this, come back. I'll just write it as the output. Okay, yeah. Now, what is the bracket that we have to use to create a set? What is the bracket that we have to use to create a set? What is the bracket? Flower bracket. Very good. Flower bracket. Now, this is very important, guys. Creation of an empty set. Using set function, we can create an empty set. So till now, you used to write the set function below brackets and all in the above, sir. It might be common bracket or square bracket, sir. But why you have written below, sir? Guys, many of them will be getting confused. Why? Because in order to create a set, we have to use flower bracket. Similarly, flower bracket with data, comma separated. In order to store dictionary type data, in order to store dictionary also in Python, we will be using flower bracket, but data will be in the form of key value, comma, like this it will go on. Is that fine? Now, if you tell empty flower bracket, it won't be treated as a set. Rather, it would be treated as a dictionary. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box? This also important interview question. If they're asking, see, if I declare a empty flower bracket within a variable, will that variable be set or dictionary? If they're asking, your answer should be, boss, it is dictionary. That means only one way is there to create an empty set. What is the only way? Using set function, we can create an empty set. That's it. I hope it is clear for everyone. A step-by-step introduction is what I'm giving. 5 seconds of teaser, trailer, picture, complete movie. I'll show it to you. Don't worry about that. This is done. Now, let's proceed to the next example. Let's see how many of them will be able to understand this. Let's see. Let's ask the question. Is it possible to access the data within a set? Common sense. Is that possible to access the data within a set? 100% no. Why, sir? Guys, why? Because first of all, indexing is not at all there. Then how can you access? Indexing is not there. Then how can I access? Sir, if I try to do that, what will be happening, sir? One scolding you will get. Boss, set object is not subscriptable. Subscriptable means not accessible. That's it. I hope it's clear for everyone. Is that clear? I want you to respond in the chat box. Is that clear, guys? Similarly, is that possible to modify the data? Is that possible to modify the data using indexing? 100% not possible. If you try to modify the data, it will ended up with type error. It will not support item assignment. First of all, indexing is only not there. Then how can you modify the data? Guys, one person is asking a very good question. So indexing isn't there for tuple. Then how can you access? Please tell me, indexing is there for tuple or not? Guys, it's like after teaching complete Ramayana and Mahabharata, fine. I think there is one saying, right? Indexing will be there for tuple. That's what I have shown. See here. That's what I have shown. That's the reason you have to attend a class from the beginning. Simply if you come in between, it will be very difficult. Fine. You have to listen. You should be active in the class. Okay. Let's come back here. Is that possible to modify the data within a set? Yes or no in the chat box? Is that possible to modify? No, it will result in error. It will result in error. Similarly, is that possible? Is that possible to remove the data? Is that possible to remove the data? This is very important question. Is that possible to remove the data? No will be your answer, but trust me, we can remove the data. How, sir? In previous example and all, please tell me. I don't know in which example. Where is that? Oh my God, where is that? Yep. In previous example, within a list, I have removed the data. Did I use indexing for that? Did I use indexing for that? No, I haven't used indexing. I haven't used indexing. Directly value is what I have used. Here also, if you try to remove Suhas, trust me, it will remove Suhas. Yes, dot remove. That means removal of the data is possible. Because modification of existing data is never possible. Accessing is never possible, but you can remove the data. Sir, will that be fine? Will that be, sir? 100%. You only observe. If I say, if I execute, first Suhas was there somewhere. Somewhere Suhas will be there. It's not in the exact order, but later Suhas got removed. How many of them are able to understand? Yes or no in the chat box? As these are the minute points you should be having at the back of your mind as a Python developer. Fine. Similarly, sir, is it possible to add the data, sir? Is it possible to add the data, sir? Please tell me, guys, when it comes to adding the data, don't you think I have used some function for that? I have used some function for that, maybe append function, something like that I might have used when it comes to list. Similarly, for set, data will be added, but I can't assure you in which index it will be added. Random index it will be added. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box? In the random index, the data will be added. I want you people to respond in the chat box. See, if I try to add a data called as Python, yes dot add, 100% the data will be added. You only observe if I say, if I execute first data, if you observe Sandesh random order, like guys, don't you think previously we got Suhas in the first index, that is 0th index? Yes or no? That's what I'm saying. As one person is asking, sir, why in the output string is coming first? I think from past 10 minutes, that is what I'm saying, boss. Set is not having indexing. It will not preserve the order of indexing. For example, if you give me 10 rupees first, 20 rupees next, 30 rupees, fine. List will be like 10, 20, 30, but set will be like however it wants, it stores. Why like that? When I'm speaking about internal implementation of a set, which happens to be using hashing algorithm or hashing data structure, I'll teach why this property is been implemented. What is the importance of set? What is the application level? Everything I'll speak. But as of now, what you have to understand, accessing is not possible, modification is not possible, addition is possible, deletion is possible. That's it. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no? A quick response. A quick response. Okay, I'll just paste the output. I'll just paste the output. Okay, let's not have this. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. I would like to copy this, go back to the notes. I think example number, seriously, I don't know. Here, example number 20.py and example number 21.py. Similarly, I guess example number 22.py, 22.py. I think example number 22 is the last one, I guess. Yep. Example number 22. I think before that, example number 21. So I hope you're able to understand, right? Are you able to understand? Even though I might be teaching some basic stuff, trust me, it's a basic, but I don't know whether I'm going in a, I know I have handled many batches, fine, that's the reason. This is a perfect pace for initial couple of days, perfect pace, okay? Once you got adjusted, don't worry. I might increase the pace. Maybe if you tell no, then I'll not increase. Okay, let's write down the points with respect to set and we'll halt a technical discussion. Is that clear? Let's write down the points and let's halt a technical discussion, okay? Whatever that I have taught till now, will be written in the form of a point. Sir, what, sir? A set in Python is an unordered collection of data which can store homogeneous, heterogeneous, enclosed within flower bracket. Flower bracket is compulsory to represent the data in a set. We cannot store duplicate data within a set. Set is mutable or immutable. Many of them will tell immutable. Guys, no. We can change the data, right? Guys, modification is not possible. I'll agree with your point. Modification is not possible. Fine. I'll just tell, however, modification is not possible. This point, if I write here, you might be getting confused. When I take up the in-depth about set, I'll teach you. Is that fine? Yes, please do respond. I want you to respond. I'll just tell, however, modification is not possible. Fine. We can perform addition and deletion of the data upon a set. However, modification is not possible. But do you think set is mutable or immutable? If you tell the answer so that we can just conclude. Now, many of them might be thinking, just because I wrote modification is not possible, direct modification is not possible, but indirect modification is possible using few functions. That is the reason I would not write the point saying that modification is not possible. We can. How? When I take up the concept called a set, I'll teach you in detail. Is that clear, guys? But as of now, I'm only purposefully not giving the clarity about how the modification has to be done. But as of now, you got to know that accessing is never possible. Yes or no, we cannot access the data because indexing is not there. Both positive and negative indexing will not be there. You can perform addition, we can perform deletion, then data understand it is mutable. Okay. Shall I halt the technical discussion? I want your conclusion. That is, I want your response. If you could respond, yes, sir. Successfully, you can halt the technical discussion, sir. Okay. Please tell me, what are the 3 topics that I have discussed in today's class? What are the 3 topics that I have discussed in today's class? Only 3 topics. Introduction is what I have given. That's it. Only 3 topics. Introduction is what I have given. Very good. Very good. List tuple set. Out of list tuple set content, what I have to teach you people, trust me, I have taught only 2%, 1 or 2%. That's it. Still 98% of the topic I'll teach when I take up the concept called as advanced Python there. Don't you think still dictionary is pending from my side, as well as string is pending from my side, and range, none, frozen set, these things I'll do. If you miss tomorrow's class and if you don't understand dictionary and string basics, trust me, you will not be able to understand the upcoming classes. That's the reason, please do attend tomorrow's class without fail. Can I expect everyone to attend tomorrow's class without fail? Yes or no in the chat box? Yes or no? Okay. Please do attend the next class without fail. No, I'm telling, please do attend the next class without fail. Let me just do one thing. Let me just halt the technical discussion here. I'll stop recording.